On almost all of our restorations, we go get pop-out windows for the back. When you're driving down the road with these cars, especially if you're going on the highways, and you do not have pop-out windows, you will hear like a thwarting or a wobbly effect on your ears as you're driving down the road. And pop-out windows will rectify this problem. A company called, if you can see here, EIS. Okay, they're the company that makes these. And they actually do a really nice job. The fitment is great. These later model Beetles, they at least fit right into the window, and it works perfectly with the pre-drilled holes that come from the factory. Now, this car was bought from California and shipped over here, and when he got the car, it did not have the correct steering wheel. Had a black steering wheel with it, and that was not right for 65. Black steering wheels didn't come until 66. So we bought one of these brand new ones from CIP1.com, and they come as a complete kit. They give you the horn ring, they give you the button. Very nice quality steering wheel. I definitely recommend going with one of these if you do not want to restore one. Sending one out to be restored will cost a lot more money than just buying one of these. The only thing about these aftermarket steering wheels is they do not have the canceling mechanism attached to the wheel when it comes to a turn, or if you have the turn signal on and as the wheel starts to roll back, it will not cancel and bring this arm back to its center detent position. So you're going to have to do that manually. Why they do that, I don't know. Something I have to ask or look into. And here's the driver's side door panel, and as you can see, there is no armrest on these on the driver's side, and that's normal. You know, the driver's side panels did not have armrests, I don't believe, until 67. So I know it looks funny to some people. Why would they not have an armrest on this side, but they have it on the passenger side? It's just what VW did. Okay, so coming around back, 65 Beetle. When you look at the rear engine hood, this was the first year where they put the push button handle on the deck lid. And I do see sometimes, like earlier Beetle, 64 and earlier, they'll have that push button in pictures, and most sellers do not mention that the deck lid was maybe changed. I know 64 was a one-year deck lid where it had the long license light housing but had the T handle still. So I'll see sometimes 64 or 63s that have this push button handle on it, but they don't mention that, you know, if you have that on an earlier Beetle, it's not going to latch and actually hold down. So just to be real quick here, you got to make sure when you have that push button handle, the apron has to have this to make it latch. If it has the earlier style with this cup here, it's not going to work right. Okay, so looking at the engine compartment, this client opted for a 1600 single port motor, and we also got a brand new rebuilt 67 transmission, 12 volt transmission to work into this car, and for this motor to work more efficiently. It did have the original 6 volt transmission in it, but to bolt a 12 volt 1600 up into that 6 volt tranny, people do it all the time. They grind down the bell housing and put this motor in, but the tranny really is not geared for these later motors, and the tranny kind of screams. The motor wants to move, but the tranny doesn't, so that's why we opted to get a better tranny, the late model tranny, which works perfect. So this is a beautiful motor. I took this car already out for a spin the other day, and you know, it really has some nice get up and go. And 12 volt system, you can't go wrong. The lights work well, and everything functions as it should. So I opted to put, a lot of people when they put a 12 volt motor or 1600, 1500, something like that into their earlier car, they will mount the regulator on the fan shroud or something over here, or they might, you know, mount it on the Jenny, because originally 6 volt would have had the regulator mounted on the Jenny. So we go more 67 style in this part, where we'll mount the regulator under the back seat. All of our seals and scrapers either came from Wolfsburg West or West Coast Metric. I do like their seals more than any other. I've spoke about this in the past. It's just easier to work with. Go with German scrapers whenever you can. German felts that you see over here. Even the seals on the outside here, we either go with Wolfsburg West or West Coast Metric. They're softer and they go in really nice. So if you want trouble-free installation, go with those companies, spend a little bit extra money and get the right stuff. Give you one more shot of the headliner and the back seat. Once again, SoFine material here. And what we usually do with SoFine and their kits, even in our signature line, is that we go with a trim kit. This was really, some of these characteristics were only offered in the earlier Beetles, like in the 50s, is when we do the seat material, like here's the beige vinyl on the doorposts and under the quarter windows. We like to do that with mostly all of our BuGs, even in the later BuGs. They only really did that in the 50s, maybe even up to the early 60s, but we always go with the color from the seat, a dominant color, and put that in the doorpost to kind of break up the headliner a little bit, so it's not all, you know, one uniform color. If you want to impress a lot of people with your restoration, attention to detail is key. And many times when I see BuGs for sale and they say it's an expensive paint job, and I'll start looking into the door jamb area, and we always see the hinge plug hole covers painted over. These are usually painted over. The check rod seals, and then the seals around the door switch. Whenever you see these areas painted, this, good indication that it is a cheap paint job. If it was a nice paint job, or they were spending a lot of money to paint their cars, they would have gone through the painstaking operation to remove these and replace them later on. But so that's what we do here, though. We get all new hardware there. You see even the bolts, the screws that hold the hinge on, we get all new ones there. Originally by factory, that would have actually been painted over, the screws. But I like to, again, contrast. And new hinge plug covers, all new seals and stuff, even down here on the bottom. That's the kind of detail we do on our builds. Even the door striker plates, many times these are also painted over. I mean, people just do not want to remove things from their cars when they want to go get them painted. So if you see this all painted up, a good indication that it's not a high quality paint job. So we take all these off and we'll put them on a wire wheel. We might even clear coat them so they don't oxidize. Okay, so there you have it, folks. 1965 ruby red, full restoration, body off restoration, build-a-BuG project that we completed for an awesome guy up in upstate New York. And this car will be on our fall foliage cruise this year, and should be an awesome little addition to our lineup. And again, if you want to follow the restoration, go to my website, classicvwbugs.com, and go to the Build-a-BuG section and look up Hughes 65 Ruby Red. You can see the full slideshow gallery there. And that's it, guys. If you guys have any questions, email me, Chris at classicvwbugs.com, or visit my website. Take care.